Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom.
It's our literature unit, and we've picked a very famous piece of literature. I would say it's a classic play here we're going to be talking about, and that is something that was written by the great William Shakespeare from England, and it's called A Midsummer Night's Dream, and it's a comedy.
Right, and of course, Shakespeare wrote many different kinds of plays and poetry as well. He's got the tragic tales, and he's got the comedies and other ones in there somewhere as well. But we're talking about one that is a comedy. It's supposed to be funny, probably not like a comedy that you see in movie theaters nowadays with all that slapstick humor or whatever. A comedy in Shakespeare's day was slightly different, but it's still very entertaining. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. The name of the play is A Midsummer Night's Dream. Let's listen to the summary right now.
Love has often played tricks on humankind, but few tricks are as chaotic as those in A Midsummer Night's Dream. This play was written in the late 16th century and remains one of William Shakespeare's most beloved comedies. It features a magical forest where love spells confuse hearts, mischievous fairies cause trouble, and everything becomes tangled on a single midsummer night. At the start, Duke Theseus of Athens is preparing to marry Hippolyta, the Amazon queen. However, a dispute over another marriage casts a shadow over the celebrations. A nobleman demands that his daughter, Hermia, marry Demetrius, although she is in love with Lysander. Theseus gives Hermia a harsh choice: comply with her father or face serious consequences, death or life in a convent. Refusing to accept this destiny, Hermia schemes to flee Athens with Lysander under the cover of night. She tells her friend Helena, who secretly loves Demetrius, and betrays Hermia by disclosing the plan to him. That night, all four young lovers venture into the forest. Deep in the forest, the fairy king Oberon and his queen Titania are quarreling over a child. Oberon seeks revenge and commands his fairy servant Puck to fetch a magical flower. The juice from this blossom makes anyone it touches while they are sleeping fall madly in love with the first creature they see upon waking. While preparing his plan, Oberon witnesses Helena constantly seeking Demetrius's affection, as Demetrius cruelly rejects her. He decides to resolve the lovers' tangled affairs. However, Puck accidentally applies the magic to Lysander instead of Demetrius, compelling him to fall for Helena.
Okay, it's time for us to dive right in and explain the contents of our lesson for today. Now, lots of things are happening in this particular play. We've got love. We've got love affairs, people getting married, people having crushes on other people. We've got spells, which is a magic spell. If you're a fairy or a witch or whatever, you have magic and you can cast a spell on somebody so that something will happen to them. And we've also got chaos, which means a very disorganized situation. It's just 乱七八糟, as you say in Chinese. So yes, it's a very chaotic situation. Chaos, of course, is the noun. And these are all elements in the play A Midsummer Night's Dream.
A midsummer means what it looks like it means, and that's in the middle of summer. So it's just a way to use midsummer as an adjective here, a midsummer night's dream. It's kind of like a dream. It's so crazy. It could only happen if you were to dream it up, right? It's a little insane. So there is a lot of chaos in it, but it's fun. It's fun to go and see a stage play. But I was saying this to Tom before we started. If I were to see this again in real life, I would definitely read the plot summary before I went to see it again. First of all, you're listening to English written in a very old style. You know, it's the 16th or 1600s, so it's difficult for even us to understand. And then the plot is really twisted and kind of crazy. So you need to kind of have a good understanding of what's going on before you go and see it. So that's why we say there's a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion in this particular play.
Now, our article begins by saying, love has often played tricks on humankind, but few tricks are as chaotic as those in A Midsummer Night's Dream. So yes, indeed, all know about love, right? Love does things to people's minds.
Crazy.
It makes us do things that we wouldn't normally do. And yes, love often plays tricks on humankind, which affects us greatly. We don't behave rationally. We're kind of illogical when we're in love. But few tricks of love are as chaotic as those in this particular play entitled A Midsummer Night's Dream. Here's the word chaotic again. That is the adjective form of chaos. It was a very chaotic situation, I could say, for example.
Yeah, so it's often something that makes people turn a little bit crazy. I've noticed that with myself and friends. So it says here, but few tricks are as chaotic as those in A Midsummer Night's Dream. As Tom said, chaotic is just the adjective form of the noun chaos. So this play was written in the late 16th century. Wow, it occurred even earlier than I said. I said the 1600s. If you look and see that 16th century, always put it up 100 years. That means the 1500s. And it still remains even today one of William Shakespeare's most beloved or beloved. You can pronounce this word in two ways, beloved or beloved. They're both correct. Comedies. It is a comedy. It's not something that will make you sad or kind of horrified because you're seeing something awful on stage where people are getting killed. No, you're watching something that's funny. It will make you laugh, and it's called a comedy. A comedy can be a funny play, a funny show, a funny movie. Most people like to go and see comedies. You know, if you go to the movies on the weekend, you might want to go see a romantic comedy or just a crazy comedy. But yeah, they're always enjoyable.
Yes, people love comedies because, of course, they're busy with work and school, and sometimes they just want to relax and have a few laughs and enjoy themselves. So this is probably something you might want to avoid if that's what you want to do, even though it is a comedy. Yes, Shakespeare's language is quite complicated. And at least for me, before I see this play, I probably want to actually read it first.
Yeah.
And then read a sort of modern translation of it so I know exactly what they're trying to say to each other. Because if you read Shakespeare, sometimes it's like, what is this guy on about? I have no idea what he's trying to say here. And these speeches that people have in Shakespeare go on and on and on. They're just so long. So why can't they just say it in one or two sentences? But it goes on for a whole page or something. So yes, these are things you probably need to do if you watch tragedies or historical plays or whatever. And this is a comedy. Now, it features a magical forest where love spells confuse hearts, mischievous fairies cause trouble, and everything becomes tangled in a single midsummer night. So this is where it's taking place. It's taking place in a magical forest where there are fairies that have magical powers. And then we've got love spells. If you cast a love spell on somebody, you basically make somebody love you and not somebody else using magic. And your hearts are often confused. Gee, do I love her or does she love me? Or does he love her or does she love him or whatever? So yeah, it can be quite confusing there. And then we've got the word mischievous. And I should mention this, that a lot of Americans, at least, I think even people in the UK, incorrectly say this as mischievous. You will hear that very often, so expect that from people, but mischievous is the correct form.
Yeah, if you're mischievous, you're kind of naughty, but you're not really being mean or hurting people. You're kind of playful. You're kind of teasing them. So if someone's described as being mischievous, it's kind of a cute word to use, especially with kids. You know how kids are. So you might have a puppy who's mischievous or a cat or a kitten that are just kind of playing around, playing tricks on you. So these are mischievous fairies. Fairies aren't real. They're imaginary. They cause trouble and everything becomes tangled on a single night. It's just one night in the middle of summer. If things are tangled, they're kind of twisted up together. They're kind of messy. We often talk about how our hair gets tangled in the wind, ladies. Or maybe you have strings or ropes, several ropes that will get tangled up together. So we use it like that. They're just kind of twisted together in a messy way. So at the start, you've got the first character here, Duke Theseus of Athens.
The Duke, indeed, and he's preparing to marry Hippolyta. I hope I said that right.
Yep.
And she is the Amazon Queen. Okay, now these are two characters that we introduced first, but I don't think they're the main characters in the play. They're just kind of there to set the stage a bit. So this is a wedding that's going to take place, the Duke of Athens and then the Amazon Queen. However, a dispute over another marriage casts a shadow over the celebrations. So there's a disagreement, there's a dispute over another marriage, which means other people are planning to get married, but there are some problems with that. Maybe they don't actually love each other, or somebody's being forced to marry somebody else, and if they don't agree, then they're going to be punished or whatever. So yes, there's a dispute over another marriage, and yes, that kind of dampens the celebrations. It kind of lessens the festive atmosphere of those celebrations.
Yeah, it sure does. So he's kind of the big guy in charge, you could say. So he's preparing to marry someone who is an Amazon queen. But as Tom says, they're not the main characters of this story, but they appear first. So there's a dispute, an argument over another marriage, and it's casting a shadow. It's making the celebrations not so fun because there's some problems with this other marriage. Now, a nobleman, a different guy. Now, the Duke is a nobleman, right? He's an aristocrat. Another nobleman demands that his daughter, whose name is Hermia, marry a guy named Demetrius. The problem is his daughter doesn't love Demetrius. She's in love with a guy named Lysander. Oh, no. But here this father is demanding that his daughter marry the guy that he wants her to marry instead of who she's in love with.
Indeed. Now we're back to the Duke again. I guess the Duke has some power over this nobleman and Hermia. Theseus, the Duke, gives Hermia a harsh choice, okay? This is a decision that she's got to make. It's harsh, it's severe, it's extreme. Comply with her father or face serious consequences, death, or life in a convent. So here, comply just means you're doing what you're supposed to do. Please comply with the rules, for example. If you don't, you'll be punished. You will be expelled from school or whatever. And yes, you need to comply with her father, okay? So yes, Theseus says you need to obey your father. You need to marry this guy. And if you don't, well, this is the consequence. This is the result. You're going to die. You'll face death, or you'll have to live in a convent. That's kind of a religious place, right?
Yeah, convent is for women who are nuns. So they kind of dedicate their whole lives to their faith and their religion. And they never get married. They never have children. So those are her consequences. That's what happens if she refuses to comply with her father. If you comply with something, it just means you're following some sort of rule or you're doing what someone asks you to do. If we're students in school, we have to comply with the dress code. We can't just, soy bien, wear what we want to wear. If there's a dress code, we have to obey or follow or agree to do something. So these are her choices, I guess. They're pretty harsh. They're not very nice choices. So she has to think about that. What does she decide to do?
Well, refusing to accept this destiny, Hermia schemes to flee Athens with Lysander under the cover of night. So we could say she wants to elope with him. That means when you run away and get married. I knew a lot of people in my hometown who eloped. They ran off to Las Vegas and got married there because you can get married in Las Vegas. It's actually pretty easy, but of course it's quite far away for a lot of people. But that's what Hermia wants to do. She wants to run away with Lysander, and she does not want to marry Demetrius like her father wants her to and like the Duke wants her to do. And she wants to do this to avoid her destiny. She's refusing to accept her destiny. Remember, your destiny is what was meant to happen to you. It's kind of like your fate. It's what's supposed to happen in your life. She refuses to accept this destiny. She doesn't want to get married. It's like somebody else had decided this for her. So yeah, she does not want to obey that order. She does not want to comply.
She doesn't. We're going to find out more, guys, but right now we're going to take a quick break and listen to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。夏天嘛，当然除了吃刨冰之外，就是晚上可以去散散步咯。不过这个晚上散散步会不会因此比较好睡呢？好啦，不要扯太多，其实我们今天的重点是要带大家看莎士比亚最疯狂的一个爱情喜剧，就是《仲夏夜之梦》。仲夏夜之梦可能大家都听到，可是好像没有仔细读过，对不对？我们今天跟明天带大家来看看。那这仲夏夜之梦啊，就是环绕着爱这个主题，所以一开始第一段就告诉我们啦，爱呀常常这个捉弄人类，然后呢有一个仲夏夜之梦哦，其实这个故事就非常的混乱。我们在第一段的第一句当中看到 as 的句型，那我们 as 的句型在 Unit 1的时候有特别提过。第二个 as 呢是比喻的句型，比喻什么呢？ as those 就像那一些 tricks 一样，在句子当中先看到逗点之后的 few tricks。 不过在这里要先打个岔，因为 few 这个字啊，如果不加的话，它是几乎没有，那 a few 则是一些。那特别注意三个字 quite a few Quite quite a few 是 many 是很多的意思哦。我们把 as 抓出来，第一个 as 没什么意思，但是呢居然是像那些仲夏夜之梦里面的 tricks 一样的混乱 chaotic。 好，那所以这出剧呢，我们主要知道因为是这个莎士比亚，他是好几百年前的很厉害的一个文学家啊。那这出戏呢，它是写在西元16纪末的时候。那到底是什么东西呢？主要的主题就在第一段第3句这个地方。他说啊，剧中总而言之呢，就是有个魔法森林，然后呢有几个年轻人闯进去了，爱情的魔法就让他们这个心乱啊，然后有淘气的仙子啊，制造麻烦啊等等之类的。不过这个第一段第3句因为有点长，我们来看一下为什么句子会这么长呢？好，主词就是 it， 就是这个仲夏夜之梦。 feature 当动词就是主打什么特色，拥有什么特色。其实后面的受词就一个哦，一个 a magical forest， 有一个魔法森林。接着的 where 一直到最后句尾的地方是限定用法的关系子句。 where 指的是在这个森林里面， and in the forests 发生了3句话。第一句话的动词 confuse， 好，带了一个句子。然后接着呢，我们来看到的是 cause trouble， 导致麻烦。逗点 and 第3个动作 becomes， 这3个动词引领着3个子句，然后把我们今天的故事介绍出来。好，接着我们就要来看第2段咯。好，这个故事一开始的时候啊，雅典公爵原来啊是有一个公爵，他叫做 Theseus 他正准备要迎娶亚马逊的女王 Hippolyta。 那在这个时候呢，突然开始另外有一个纠纷了，为这件事情就蒙上阴影。什么样的事情呢？原来是有一个贵族，他要求他的女儿 Hermia， 这是主角哦，一定要嫁给 Demetrius。 可是其实 Hermia 爱的是 Lysander。 好，我们在第2段第3句这里特别要注意一下，动词的 demand 在英文当中叫做建议式动词。建议什么呢？我们明明看到的 demand 叫做命令，为什么叫建议式动词？原来是这样子的。在英文当中啊，像建议 suggest， 命令 demand， order command， 要求 request， 坚持 insist， 这一类的动词如果后面加的是一个子句的时候啊，通常都是某个人应该如何，某件事应该怎么样，而这个应该的 should 又常常省略掉。所以你会发现在第2段第3句这个地方 demands that 之后的动词 marry 用的是动词原形哦，因为 marry 前面的 should 省略掉。所以问题就是 Hermia 她爱的并不是 Demetrius， 她爱的是 Lysander。 所以这时候该怎么办呢？这时候公爵就出手啦。 Theseus 他就说，好，你呢要不就顺从你的父母，这个父亲 comply with 顺从他，要不然你就要面临严重的后果，我可能会处死你，或者是让你在修道院这个度过余生啊。哎呀，这真是一个非常严肃的事情。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, everybody, let's continue with our lesson. Remember, we've got, let's see, Hermia and Demetrius and Lysander. Those are basically the main characters here. Remember, Hermia is supposed to marry Demetrius, but she doesn't want to. She runs away with Lysander, whom she really loves.
Yeah.
And yes, again, she does not want to accept the destiny of having to marry somebody that she doesn't want to. So she schemes to flee Athens with Lysander under the cover of night. So if you scheme to do something, you plan to do something secretly.
Yeah, under the cover of night is just a fancy way to say they went after night fell and darkness came, and that's when they took off. Under the cover just means they were able to escape without too many people seeing them. Under the cover, you can imagine. Well, unfortunately, this is kind of the sad part of the story to me, because when you have a good girlfriend, and the ladies out there will understand what I'm talking about, you feel like you can tell your best girlfriend anything, and she'll keep it a secret. You know, because she's your girl, she's your best friend. You should be able to trust your best friend. So her best friend is Helena. So Hermia tells her friend Helena, who secretly loves Demetrius. Okay, remember, Helena doesn't love Lysander, who Hermia loves. Hermia loves Lysander, but Helena secretly loves Demetrius, and Demetrius is who Hermia's dad wants Hermia to marry. Okay, I hope you understand all that. So she tells her best friend Helena, who secretly loves Demetrius, and then betrays Hermia by disclosing the plan to him. So even though Hermia and Helena are best friends, Helena, because she's already in love with Demetrius, is a little bit more loyal to him than her best girlfriend. And so she ends up disclosing or revealing what Hermia plans to do. Remember, Demetrius is expected to marry Hermia, so he doesn't want Hermia to sneak off and marry some other guy.
Right, and of course, Helena probably thinks that if she tells Demetrius, maybe Demetrius will be thankful for that information, and maybe he will fall in love with her or something. We don't really know the reason why she betrays her friend there, but she betrays him. That just means you...
Betrays her.
Betrays her, that's right, yes. She is disloyal to him. She is disloyal to her. I'm getting this all mixed up here because there are so many characters here. But again, Helena betrays Hermia by revealing or disclosing the plan to Demetrius. So now Demetrius knows all about it.
And so that night, we've got all four young lovers who go into the forest. That's what venture means, to go forward, to venture into the forest. We don't know what we're going to find at that point. So the next paragraph starts with deep in the forest. So they've all gone into the forest, and already within the forest, we've got two new characters. Hello to new characters. We've got Fairy King, whose name is Oberon, and his queen is Titania. And they are actively in a fight or quarreling over a child. They're having an argument over a child. Our summary here doesn't tell us exactly what the argument's about, but they are fighting over something. And Oberon seeks revenge and commands his fairy servant, whose name is Puck, to fetch a magical flower. Now, he's mad at his queen because they're arguing, and he wants revenge. To seek is to find, to go to find something, and revenge is when you want to get back at someone who's hurt you or done something that has made you angry or maybe, hurt your feelings. We don't know what it is exactly. So he seeks revenge. You could say he seeks vengeance, or he seeks to get back at her. So he tells his servant Puck, hey, Puck, get over here. I want you to go. To fetch is to go get something and bring it back to somebody. Go fetch a magical flower. We use fetch a lot when we play with our dogs, right? You throw a stick, the dog runs out, grabs it, and brings it back to you. And sometimes we'll actually say that to the dog, hey, Spot, my dog Spot, go fetch. And he'll go and get that stick and bring it back.
Of course, you probably remember the old nursery rhyme, Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water just to retrieve something, to get something. So I'm not really sure exactly why Oberon is sending Puck to get this magical flower. He's doing it as a way to seek revenge on his wife there, the fairy queen, the queen Titania. And the juice from this blossom makes anyone it touches while they are sleeping fall madly in love with the first creature they see upon waking. So that's the magic of this juice from this flower. Again, we've got a magical flower, and it has juice. What's juice from a flower, like nectar or something?
Yeah.
So the nectar from a flower will make anyone it touches fall in love with somebody, but they have to have this applied to them while they are sleeping. And then when they wake up, the first person or creature that they see, it could be a donkey, could be a horse, could be a cow, could be an armadillo or whatever, who knows?
Could be a spider, who knows?
Yeah, it could be. And the first person, the first living thing that you see, you will fall madly in love with that thing.
Oh no, this sounds dangerous. So while preparing his plan, Oberon witnesses, if you witness something, you see it with your own eyes, Helena constantly seeking Demetrius's affection. Remember, Helena really loves Demetrius. Demetrius is chasing Hermia. So, as a result, Demetrius, who isn't a very nice guy, I must say, he cruelly rejects her. He treats Helena horribly. If you're cruel, you're very mean intentionally to someone, you want to hurt them. And so he makes her feel kind of silly for being so affectionate towards him. I don't like Demetrius.
I guess Helena has a crush on him, but Demetrius doesn't really care. Get away from me, woman. I have no feelings for you at all. Don't waste my time. Get out of my face. So he's being very cruel to her, and therefore Oberon decides to resolve the lovers' tangled affairs. So here Oberon decides to get involved in the situation. Hey, I'm a magical fairy here. I've got magical powers, so I can help them kind of figure out, or I can help them untangle this terrible situation.
Yeah, resolve and solve are very similar. It just means you come up with a solution to a problem. So he wants to help. That makes me feel better about Oberon. I thought he sounded kind of bad because he wanted to seek revenge on his wife by putting, this magic spell on her. But here he's actually showing a good side to his personality, and he wants to help resolve the lovers' tangled affairs. I think he feels badly for Helena, that she's treated cruelly. However, Puck, remember who Puck is? Puck is Oberon's servant. So Puck is summoned again, but while he's off doing what he was first requested to do, and that is to put that magical juice upon Titania while she's asleep so that she'll fall in love with the first creature or thing she sees when she wakes up. He accidentally, applies the magic to Lysander instead of Demetrius. If you accidentally do something, you do something without meaning to. You do it by accident. You do it by mistake. So you could say Puck applied the magic to Lysander by mistake instead of Demetrius, compelling him, we're talking about Lysander, to fall for Helena.
Right, so let's see. Who did Helena fall in love with? Yes,
Demetrius.
She liked Demetrius, right. But now Demetrius, let's see. I guess
it's Lysander.
I'm getting all these confused here. But Lysander, I guess, is supposed to be with Hermia. They were supposed to run away together. But Helena likes Demetrius. And now Puck has applied the magic potion to Lysander instead of Demetrius, and that makes him fall for Helena. So we've got a quite tangled situation regarding love affairs, and we'll try to untangle it in our next program. But before we say goodbye today, we need to hear from our Chinese teacher.
接着我们就来看到啦，那 Hermia 就是因为拒绝这样的命运之后，就计划跟 Lysander 他们去私奔去了。但是这边第二段的第5句啊，它是个分词构句。这里的 refusing 的主词是逗点之后的 Hermia， 而它省略的连接词是 because。那他们决定要私奔之后呢，因为 Hermia 告诉他的朋友 Helena， 她也是主角哦。但是 Helena 意思其实她很喜欢 Demetrius， 于是她就背叛她的朋友 Hermia， 居然把这个计划呢告诉了 Demetrius， 然后4个年轻人都跑到魔法森林去了。这个魔法森林来到第3段，其实有一个先王哦 King Oberon。那他当时跟他的太太啊，这个皇后 Titania， 因为为了一个孩子在争执不休。然后后来呢，因为这个先王啊，他就决定要报复，所以就叫他的仆人 Puck 摘一个魔法花。然后在这里呢，我们第3段的第2句又出现了一个介意式动词的句型哦。这里第2句有没有看到一个 command 这个命令？命令之后，我们看到的居然是 commands his fairy servant Puck to fetch。对，没有错。介意式动词啊，有一些动词它的本身有让某人命令某人去做一件事 command someone to do something 的用法。但是如果后面加的是 that 的子句，要特别注意 should 的省略哦。那重点是这一朵花，这个花的汁液会让任何睡眠当中的人，如果被沾到的话，醒来之后就会疯狂爱上他们看到的第一个生物。好，最后面这个第3句啊，感觉有点复杂，对，我们赶快来看一下。动词叫做 make， 使 anyone 任何人。好，我们直接跳到第2个逗点之后哦 fall in love， 使任何人都会爱上，这个是实义动词的用法。可是这个 anyone 后面带了一个限定用法关系子句，所以我们把 it touches 左右括号。然后我们说过，插入性的 while they are sleeping 都是补充说明，当他们正在睡觉的时候，如果有碰到，醒来之后就会爱上第一个的 first creature。 creature 之后的 they 一直到句尾也要左右括号哦，因为它也是一个限定用法的这个关系子句的简化。最后面的 upon walking， upon 就是一怎么的时候，一醒来 upon waking， 他们一醒来就会立刻爱上这个生物。所以到后来发生了哪一些事情呢？后来 Puck 居然误将魔法施在 Lysander 而不是 Demetrius 的身上，就让他爱上了 Helena。 好，我们明天要再继续看仲夏夜之梦。我是安娜，我们明天见。
That's all the time we have for today. Please join us again next time when we continue our summary of the Shakespeare play A Midsummer Night's Dream. I know you're all looking forward to it, as are we. We look forward to seeing you then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.